You guys are going to stick around. Let's get started. Go ahead and start in a seated position. You can actually just hold your pillow like this if you want to get started like that, or you can sit cross-legged in easy pose with your hands on your, thanks Doug, on your knees. You can come into hero's pose on your knees if that's more comfortable, or you can come onto your back, whatever feels good. But I'll invite you to start seated. And if it feels comfortable, go ahead and close down your eyes. Or maybe let your gaze get heavy, or look towards the ground. And think about feeling really grounded in your sit bones and growing really tall through your spine. So feeling like your shoulders are stacking over your hips, your head over your shoulders, growing really tall, finding length through your spine. Inhale and bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, let them fall down your back. And then just start to notice your breath. Let's take a breath in together and a breath out. Another breath in. Exhale, let it go. One more big breath in. Exhale, let it go. And just keep breathing, whether it's taking deep breaths like that or going back to a normal rhythm of breath for you. Just, again, notice where you feel this breath filling up in your body. And let's do a body scan. So starting at the top of your head, scan down all the way to your toes, noticing how each part of your body feels, not judging it, but just kind of taking inventory. No rush, but once you've done that, just come back to noticing where you feel your breath. And maybe bring your hands there. Maybe it's in your belly where you feel yourself filling up the most, or in your heart, in your chest. And just continue to breathe. I'm going to read a passage from The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. So we're at a new month for this, which means we have a new theme. So the theme for April is unbiased thought. And the title for today's excerpt is The Color of Your Thoughts. So the author quotes Marcus Aurelius in Meditations, who says, "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in thought, for the human spirit is colored by such impressions." So he goes on to then kind of explain this by saying, if you bend your body into a sitting position every day for a long enough period of time, the curvature of your spine changes. A doctor can tell from a radiograph or an autopsy whether someone sat at a desk for a living. If you shove your feet into tiny narrow shoes each day, your feet begin to take on that form as well. The same is true for our mind. If you hold a perpetually negative outlook, soon enough everything you encounter will seem negative. Close it off and you'll become closed-minded. Color it with the wrong thoughts, and your life will be dyed the same. So I'm going to reread one sentence from here again. If you hold a perpetually negative outlook, soon enough everything you encounter will seem negative. So this is definitely a time where we're encountered a lot with like negative news and things like that, and we kind of have the opportunity to choose whether to look at life from that outlook and focus on the negative, or kind of focus on what we can be grateful for, which is something I've been trying to bring into most of these sessions. And you know, your mindset creates your reality to some degree, right? So the more positive we can be, the more gratitude we can express or feel or focus on, the more we're going to see that in the world around us. So with that being said, before you open your eyes, think about one thing today that was really positive for you, something you were grateful for, something that was just good that you can focus on, that you can extend a little gratitude for. And then when you're ready, go ahead and flutter your eyes open. And we'll inhale and reach our arms up overhead, stretching tall, fingertips long. And then exhale for a seated side stretch. So I'll mirror you this time. So bring your right hand behind you and your left hand to your right knee, twisting through your spine, keeping that really tall spine here. Taking a breath in to grow a little taller. And exhale to twist, opening up even through your chest here as you maybe look over your left or your right shoulder if that feels good. If it doesn't, don't force it. Let's take another breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, come up through center. And then exhale, just bring your hands to your knees. Let's breathe in for a seated cow. So pulling into your knees, kind of pressing into them. Open your heart forward, arching your back, and maybe look up a little bit, feeling your shoulder blades knit together. And then exhale for a seated cat. So rounding through your spine, now really pulling, I guess before it was pushing. So now really pulling, bringing your chin towards your chest, rounding through your spine. Let's bring it back through center. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, stretching tall. And exhale, seated side twist, seated twist to the side. So bringing your left hand behind you, placing it on the mat or the floor behind you, and then bringing your right hand to your left knee and twisting here. Twisting through your core, maybe pulling a little bit on your leg to allow yourself to twist deeper if a deeper twist is what's serving you right now. Let's bring it back to center. Reach your arms high. Exhale, bring your hands to your knees and breathe in to open up for a seated cow. Exhale for a seated cat. Let's do that again. Breathe in, seated cow. Breathe out, seated cat. Inhale again to reach your arms up. And then exhale for a seated forward fold. So just hinge at your hips and reach your arms forward. Stretching, feeling this through your upper back. Breathing into that space. Breathing out, sinking deeper, feeling grounded. Another breath here. And exhale. One more, because this feels really good. Then let's bring it to tabletop. So come to your hands and knees. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, spreading your fingers really wide, pressing through your palms so that you open up space through your shoulder blades, and then press through the tops of your feet so that you can find engagement through your core, and we're creating like a table with our back. Let's really ground through our left palm and then breathe in and reach your right fingertips towards the sky, opening up through your side body, through your chest. And exhale, thread the needle. So sweep your right arm underneath your left, letting your right ear and shoulder find the mat. And you can leave your left hand under your shoulder, maybe walk it out in front of you or wrap it around your back if that allows you to open up more here, if that feels good. Feels like a lot for me right now, so I'm just going to walk my fingertips forward. And then let's walk our hands back under our shoulder if they're not there already. Inhale, sweep your arm back up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing it back down. Let's breathe in for a cow pose here. So opening up through our chest, dipping our belly, lifting your tailbone. And then exhale for cat, pushing through your palms, bringing your chin towards your chest, your belly, your spine. Breathe in one more time for a cow, opening up. Exhale for cat, rounding through your spine. Let's bring it back to center and really ground through our right palm this time. On your breath in, peel your left arm open towards the sky. And exhale, thread it through for thread the needle, letting your left ear and your left shoulder find the mat. Again, maybe you walk your fingertips out long or wrap them around your back, maybe even finding the crease between your hip and your thigh here. My shoulders are pretty tight today, so I'm not doing that. And then if it's not there already, go ahead and walk your right hand back under your right shoulder. And inhale, reaching your left arm back up to the sky. Exhale, bring it back down for tabletop. One more time, breathing in for cow and breathing out for cat. And then let's breathe in to come back to tabletop and exhale into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes and then bring your hips up and back and your heels towards the mat. Pushing through your palms, maybe taking a minute to walk out your dog, so just bending through one knee and then the other. Just taking whatever feels good here. Let's breathe in and come high on our toes. Exhale, bend your knees and then step your feet in between your hands for a ragdoll pose. So bend your knees a lot, let your body get heavy here. Maybe you cross both of your arms, grabbing opposite elbows, or interlace your fingers behind your head. Maybe you rock side to side, taking one more breath in here and a breath out. And then slowly roll up to standing, and then reach your arms high for mountain pose. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center. Come all the way down to a forward fold one more time, leaving a little bend in your knees. And then let's breathe in for a standing twist. So leaving your left hand down, peel your right arm towards the sky, bending a lot through your right knee. And a little bit through your left, if you have tight hamstrings like me. If you have blocks and you want to bring the ground a little bit closer to you, go ahead and use a block to place your hand there. You can also place the pillow underneath your hand. Let's exhale, bring it back down to a fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, so bring your hands to your shins or maybe even your thighs. And think about rolling your shoulders back to open up your chest, bringing your shoulder blades together, kind of like that cow pose that we were doing earlier, really opening up here with that flat back. And then exhale to lower. And then now grounding through your other hand. I think I messed it up because now I'm sideways. I think we did our left hand rows before. So inhale and reach your right arm to the sky, or whatever arm you didn't do last time. Bending through the opposite leg. So whatever hand is on the ground, that's the knee that you're really bending into. So you should feel this all the way on the outside of your other leg. And exhale to lower. Inhale again for a halfway lift. And then exhale to step your right foot back into a low lunge. So bending through your left knee, making sure that your knee is right over your ankle. You're not coming in, you're not going over, just to keep your ankle safe here. And then let's lower our back knee. Reach our arms forward and up for Anjaneyasana. So feeling this hip flexor stretch, feeling strong in our core. You can also bring your hands to heart center, even to your hips. Whatever feels good here, just feeling that stretch in your hips. If you want to feel more engagement in your legs, you can think about pushing the mat away in opposite directions, just energetically. So like you're pushing your front foot forward and your back foot back. And we'll be on the top of our back foot here. Take another breath in here. And exhale, come into half splits. So straighten-ish through your front leg. Again, if you have tight hamstrings like I do, or you're going to have a little bend, and you should have a micro bend anyway, just to protect your knee. And sit your hips back. So you can walk your front leg out a little bit if that feels best. Again, if you have blocks or maybe two like couch pillows, especially if you have tight hamstrings, go ahead and bring those to either side of you, and bring your hands to those. Sorry, I'm getting distracted reading your guys' comments. And then just play around with this. Like, maybe you point and flex your toes. I have a friend, my friend Allie, she was teaching last weekend, and she was saying on your inhale, straighten out and point your toes, and then on your exhale, flex your toe back towards you. So breathe in to point your toe, and exhale to flex. Then let's come back to a low lunge. So frame your front foot, pop up off of your back toe, and then just come back to a halfway lift. So step your feet to meet together, bring your hands to your legs, and open up, flat back. And then let's exhale, bring it back to a low lunge on the other side. So just stepping your left foot back. Again, checking if your knee is over your ankle, or if you need to like readjust a little bit, totally fine. And then just drop your back knee, sweep your arms forward and up for Anjaneyasana. And maybe your hands come to heart center, maybe they come to your hips. Instead of dipping your hips in here, can you think about pulling your hips in to be in line with each other? Maybe that means adjusting your front foot a little bit. And then let's come into that half split. So walk your front foot forward, coming onto your heels, straighten-ish through that leg. And then maybe you point and flex your toe. Maybe you breathe in and do kind of like a cow spine on your inhale, opening up. And then exhale to fold, rounding like a cat on your breath out. Just getting into your hamstring in a way that feels good. Not taking it too far, but also allowing yourself to really get into this stretch. And then let's come back to a low lunge. And then just bring it to tabletop, hands and knees here. Let's breathe in again for cow, opening up. And exhale for cat, pushing through your palms, rounding through your spine. And then we're just going to take it to a child's pose. So this has been pretty chill, but this is when it's going to get real chill, you guys. So option to just come into a child's pose without any props, bringing your toes together and then your knees out wide. If this is too wide, of course, keep your knees where they're at or in a way that feels comfortable. But if you really want to get into your hips, allow them to come maybe to the outsides of your mat. And you can reach your fingertips forward, letting your forehead find the mat. You can bend your elbows. You can place your forehead on your hands, or you can grab your pillow and place it in between your thighs, like almost like you're sitting on it. And then you can just wrap your body around your pillow and just give it like a hug. And if you go for this, and I like to lay one ear down and then switch after a few breaths. So if you're going for this, I'll let you know when to switch sides. We'll be here for a little bit. Just chill. Just allow yourself to rest here. have one ear on your pillow, go ahead and switch sides. Let's just take one more breath in here. And exhale, let it go. When you're ready, you can push on up to a seat and actually just come all the way down to your back. And if you want, you can keep the pillow in between your legs. We're just going to come into a supine twist. So if you have a pillow and want it between your legs and you want to get really cozy, keep it there. If you don't, no big deal. Just let your legs fall off to one side. You can let your arms open wide, or maybe bend your elbows to get into your chest a little more. Maybe bring your hands somewhere on your body. Maybe you just decide not to twist and you just want to snuggle with your pillow. That's totally cool too. Let's take another breath in here and another breath out. Breathe in, bring your knees back up through center. And then breathe out, let them fall to the other side. And maybe even scoot your hips back a little bit. And then do whatever feels good with your arms. So maybe opening up. You could even straighten out your bottom leg here, if that feels good. Let's breathe in here. Exhale, let it go. And bring your knees back up through center. And option to take any other poses or shapes that you would like to take before going into Shavasana. But if you're ready for your final resting pose, go ahead and make your way there. If you have a pillow and again want to get super cozy, maybe you bring it underneath your knees and let your knees rest on your pillow. Or maybe you bring your pillow behind your head. Lots of options here. You can also do it without a pillow, just let your legs come out long, or maybe soles of your feet together, or soles of your feet on the mat. I'm going to put this under my knees and close my eyes and breathe for about a minute. Feel free to stay as long as you would like. And maybe notice notice your thoughts. Maybe notice, just like the Daily Stoic for today said, notice if you're focusing on the negative, and if there's anything you can do to flip the switch. So maybe when that thought arises, notice if you can catch it and reframe your thinking for something more positive while still being realistic, but if you can be a little more optimistic maybe. And then, like I said, go ahead and stay for however long feels good for you, but if you're ready to wake your body back up, go ahead and invite some movement back in. So maybe that's pointing and flexing your toes, rolling through your ankles, maybe wrapping your knees up into your chest. Go ahead and roll off to one side. Push yourself up to a seat. Go ahead and come into an easy pose if that feels good, or maybe in hero's pose on your knees. Not sure if you guys can see Macy back here. Just dinner time for her. Let's finish by breathing in and reaching our arms up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands through heart center, palms together. Thank you so much for taking the time for yourself to practice and for hopping on here with me. It makes me feel a little bit more connected. And yeah, it's really nice. So again, I'll post the Daily Stoic too on my story so that you guys can revisit it. But just keeping in mind how powerful our thoughts are, especially during this time. That being said, thank you so much to everyone that tuned in. Thank you to the people in the culture that created this practice that we all benefit from. Have a great night, you guys. Bye.